Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on Topstar, channel 106 on KenStream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Camnet TV. Here are the top stories in our news tonight. Government denies signing MAIZE export deal with DRC. There shall be no sacred cows in the fight against corruption. VEEP. ZDA urges SMEs to build strong investment cases to attract funding. In international news, a Trump-era aid cuts deepen crisis in Kenya's KAKUMA refugee camp. And in sports news, Zambia faces Nigeria in WAFCON quarterfinal. Match is still underway. I will be back with the details shortly after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. Government has denied reports suggesting that it has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the Democratic Republic of Congo DRC for the export of maize or mealie. The clarification follows statements made by Food Reserve Agency FRA board chairpersons Rich Desai on 17th July 2025, claiming that such an agreement was in place. Acting Minister of Agriculture Peter Kapala stated that no formal export deal has been signed with the DRC or any other country. He clarifies that while Zambia has received several export inquiries from the DRC and other neighboring countries, these discussions remain at the negotiation stage and no binding agreements have been concluded. Zambia Development Agency ZDA Business Development Director Gabriel Msetenkwa has called on small and medium enterprises, SMEs, to develop compelling investment cases that highlight their growth potential and return on investments to attract funding and strategic partnerships. Speaking during the Empowerment Businesses at the Engine of Zambia's Growth session at the Invest Zambia International Conference held at Mulungushi International Conference Center, Mr. Msetekwa emphasized the critical role SMEs play in Zambia's economic development. He noted that SMEs significantly contribute to job creation and the country's gross domestic product GDP. Mr. Msetekwa encouraged SMEs to adopt scalable business models that can expand locally, regionally, and internationally with minimal additional costs. He advised entrepreneurs to leverage technology and streamline operational processes to enable. Markad, co-founder of the Zambia Business Angels Network, highlighted cultural challenges impacting entrepreneurship in Zambia. He stressed the need for improved leadership development and a shift towards embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. Vice President Mutale Nalumango has backed the Electoral Commission of Zambia's directive prohibiting the use of campaign materials from non-participating political parties, stating that it is a matter of enforcing existing electoral laws. The Electoral Commission yesterday advised political parties to desist from using regalia or campaign materials associated with parties not contesting in the upcoming elections, noting that such practices are contrary to the law. Responding to a query from Mukushi Member of Parliament Davis Chisopa, the Vice President clarified that the Electoral Process Act number 35 of 2016 permits the use of campaign symbols and materials only for candidates officially participating in an election. She further emphasized that only symbols registered with the Chief Electoral Officer are legally recognized for campaign purposes.
Section 89, I can put it in short, but today allow me. 2016. Section 89, 1, that is subsection 1N, of the Electoral Process Act is very instructive, and it states or provides a person shall not, being a candidate, use a symbol in the course of an election other than the symbol registered with the Chief Electoral Officer. I am just reading. I wasn't here in 2016. I'm just reading. We passed the law through my members here.
Order, honorable members, we are losing time. Can we listen to the answers? Let's listen to the answers.
Thank you, madam. To my advantage, madam. Losing time to my advantage. Can I go on reading, colleagues? Yeah. So I said the symbol registered with the Chief Electoral Officer in accordance with this Act and any regulation thereunder. In the case of any other person associate any candidate with any symbol in the course of an election other than the candidate's registered symbol.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mutale Nalumango has reaffirmed the government's commitment to fighting corruption, stating that there will be no sacred cows in the pursuit of accountability. She described corruption as a dangerous cancer that must be eliminated from both public and private institutions, warning that it cannot be allowed to take root. Mrs. Nalumango explained that the government has adopted a zero-tolerance approach to corruption and will ensure that all findings by the Anti-Corruption Commission, SCC, and other law enforcement agencies are made public at the appropriate time. She emphasized that the process must be thorough and not rushed to ensure accuracy and fairness. Responding to a question from Chinsali Member of Parliament, Kalalwe Mokosa, who queried the delay in releasing a forensic report on ongoing corruption investigations, the Vice President clarified that the matter is currently before the courts. She advised members of Parliament to refrain from debating issues that are active in court proceedings. Mrs. Nalumango further noted that forensic reports are not presented to Parliament, but can only be accessed upon request by the head of state.
That's why the report is given to investigative wings. Each of them now, they should go through and find culpability. Find that there is somebody who is culpable, somebody who is liable, and that person is the one that will be followed. It is not meant for here. It is meant for the investigative wings. And we pray that indeed there should be, I've declared here on behalf of the President of the Republic of Zambia and these colleagues, there should be no sacred cow. So that one is in the right hands today, in the investigative wings. The media also behave like investigators in their own way, but I don't think it was given to anybody. But we don't want to fault anybody. It is not a public document, because people, in terms of open public, because people start apportioning, you understand the fear? People will start apportioning and say, yes, Kafuaya took the company there, was given a contract when in fact it was not a registered company.
The Community Action Against Corruption has accused the Anti-Corruption Commission, SCC, the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, of failing the nation in the fight against corruption. The organization claims the three institutions are responsible for what it described as the collapse and current mess surrounding Zambia's anti-corruption efforts. CAAC Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo has dismissed the recent arrest of 56 individuals in the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency's ZAMSA scandal as a mere damage control. Mr. Tembo alleged that those arrested were sacrificial lambs, while the real perpetrators of corruption remain untouched and protected by the very institutions meant to prosecute them. The organization further criticized what it termed as a biased and politically motivated approach to corruption investigations.
Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, they are responsible for the collapse of genuine corruption fight in Zambia today, and they are also responsible for the mercy which is obtaining in the corruption fight in Zambia today, leading to the escalating levels of corruption allegations nearly in a good number of ministries in Zambia today. So you can see that there is no deterrent for people to participate in corruption, because the corruption fight itself has flopped. Then we wish to advise the Director of Public Prosecutions, Gilbert Piri, to refrain from defending the weak methods of corruption fight, like non-conviction based forfeiture of assets from executive criminals who get involved in corrupt activities. This has not helped in the fight against corruption, and this approach is responsible for the selective approach in the fight against corruption, which has made the current corruption to be very weak and almost non-existent. It is because of approaches like this one. Mr. Piri should understand that non-conviction based forfeiture of assets is not applicable in Zambia. Zambia has not yet risen to that level. If it is applicable in those developed countries, it cannot work here. So if Mr. Piri is a genuine corruption fighter, he should start advocating for the scrapping off of this provision in the Anti-Corruption Act of 2012.
The Copper Belt Energy Corporation, CEC, has announced that it is in advanced discussions with ZESCO to roll out solar plants aiming to boost Zambia's national energy sector. During a panel discussion at the recently concluded Invest in Zambia International Conference, CEC's head of government relations, Sylvester Hiranene, stated that the company is working tirelessly to enhance the country's energy sector. Mr. Hiranene says CEC is expanding its solar capacity to 230 megawatts peak, fueled by a $200 million green bond. The joint team aims to add 500 megawatts of solar capacity across the country. Meanwhile, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Energy, in charge of electricity, Arnold Simwamba, expressed the government's readiness to offer support to private sector entities interested in partnering in the energy sector. The two entities are forming a joint planning team to coordinate efforts, maximize resources, and avoid duplication in the deployment of solar power generation facilities.
In advanced discussions with ZESCO on that model to invest together in a number of solar projects across the country. CEC, as you know, has done quite a number of projects already in solar, so we have some good experience there. We have delivered so far 3 projects. The last one was last year, 60 megawatts. Right now we're building another one, quite a huge one. We call it Timpi 2 on the Copper Belt. It will be 136 megawatts, and it will be done by Q1 next year. And so leveraging that and collaborating with our colleagues, ZESCO, we want to do more together. So that model of public-private partnership, PPP, is one that we see as being a very viable one as well. And it means that the private sector brings in its knowledge and skill and efficiency to deliver projects, and we share risk with the national utility. And that way we have a well-defined structure for actually ensuring the project is delivered on time. So those are the 2 main ways I can share in terms of how we can ensure or help the investment in power generation between private sector and the national utility.
And people who are investing in Zambia, including individuals, including myself, to sell power as well into the network, net metering. You have that. It's another reform where as much as you are consuming, you are able to sell power through net metering. That is another reform. We've talked about it all. Now, we are actually reforming the sector as government in collaboration with investors, with anyone, as long as you have got ideas that make sense. We are there to do the sector reforms, the reforms in the country, so that together we develop this country.
Copperbelt Youth for Inclusive Development have rubbished Vendata's Resources' recent claim that it has already invested $400 million into Coca-Cola Copper Mines KCM, calling it a blatant falsehood and a cruel mockery of the Zambian people. The group says the announcement made on 16th July is not only misleading but insulting to communities who continue to suffer from neglect and lack of economic opportunities since the company's return in August 2024. The group, which rebranded this week from the Vendata Mass Return Community Campaign Movement to Copperbelt Youth for Inclusive Development, says its initial support for Vendata's return was based on promises of meaningful development. Movement coordinator Chishala Mwamba says the $1 billion investment pledge made by the company last year included reviving the Konkola Deep Mine project, expanding exploration and creating job and business opportunities for locals, none of which have materialized. Mr. Mwamba further says with support from youth groups, community organizations and members of the clergy, the movement has announced the launch of a province-wide youth campaign against Vendata.
As members of the community, we feel this is nothing short of a cruel mockery of the Zambian people. In August 2024, Vedanta returned to KCM with bold promises, pledging a $1 billion investment that was meant to breathe life into the asset. We were told to expect a total overhaul. The Konkola Deep Mine project could be developed, exploration expanded, jobs created, and value returned to the people. Less than a year later, and before any real transformation can be seen, they are telling us that $400 million has already been invested. What investment? What has changed? On the ground, what we are seeing is the total opposite. KCM has continued to deteriorate. Information reaching us is very worrying. In fact, this is an investor who apparently is even failing to buy toner for printing papers in Nampundwe, as well as failing to replace damaged pumps, among other things. Our people, especially the youths, are not being hired, nor are they being given business opportunities. What is happening at KCM is a slow and painful decay to our God-given asset. And yet, Vedanta expects applause for simply announcing figures that do not match the reality on the ground. Like we promised Vedanta last year, August, during their return, that should they not deliver on their promises, the same way we rose as youths to demand for their return will be how we shall rise to demand for their exit. Our goal is very clear, to ensure that the mining sector, especially operations like KCM, delivers tangible economic and social benefits to the people of Zambia. As stakeholders in the minerals of our country, we shall not just be spectators, but take an active approach to ensure that owners of the land see real benefits.
Government is expected to soon commission the newly constructed Kabwe Central Province following the completion of works on the $40 million facility. Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shumwamba visited the site to inspect and appreciate the progress made on the project, which is anticipated to significantly boost the local economy and create job opportunities in the region. Mr. Shumwamba commended President Hakainde Hichilema for fostering a conducive environment that has continued to attract major investments to Kabwe and other parts of the country. He noted that the establishment of the plant is a testament to the government's ongoing efforts to promote industrialization, value addition, and sustainable economic growth. The Great Leaf Tobacco Plant is expected to enhance tobacco processing capacity in Zambia, positioning Kabwe as a key hub for agro-processing in the country.
This is Great Leaf Tobacco Processing Plant. The plant is situated just about 5 kilometers from Kabwe Central Business District. Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shumwamba toured the tobacco processing plant to appreciate the works taking place.
President Hakainde Hichilema talked about stabilizing the economy, creating an enabling environment. So an environment over the last 4 years has been created. Today we have investors. We've only had one plant that is processing tobacco in this country, and this is the second. A lot of raw tobacco is taken out of this country where we export jobs into Malawi, into Zimbabwe. But today, what an opportunity for Kabwe to have this sort of environment.
Great Leaf Tobacco Processing Plant Factory Manager Govu Jampton explained the production capacity and disclosed that so far 300 local jobs have been created at the plant.
This line you see is a 6-ton line, 6 tons per hour, and we are planning to run it 24 hours, 6 days a week. And that will give us about 12 million per season. Now this plant is from China, and we've got the Chinese installing it for us. And the locals are helping the Chinese. If I talk of numbers right away, we have about 300, I say, as we speak. The investment put in this plant is plus $40 million.
The project manager, Hash Kumar, has requested government to consider giving them 3 megawatts of power to supplement on the power deficit they are experiencing.
We need 3 megawatt power here for running the plant. That is our requirement. But we have a backup also. 1 megawatt 3 genset we have. But we cannot run the genset every time. It is a cost. It's a cost. So our request is from the government that we need an uninterrupted power supply from ZESCO.
The commissioner wants ZESCO to honor the presidential directive of power distribution.
3 megawatts, that's what they want as a consistent flow of power. President Akainde just commissioned 100 megawatts at Chisamba Chikonkomene area, and I think there was emphasis on a directive from the president that we dedicate sufficient power to Kawe, sufficient power to Kapiri and Chisamba itself. So we make an appeal once more to ZESCO management that quickly prioritize these industries that are creating jobs.
Meanwhile, Kawe District Agricultural Coordinator Kokila Mwanza says this project will reduce farmers' overdependence on FEEP.
I'm so happy to have this investment around. It reduces the pressure on us, on FEEP, because farmers will actually now choose, okay, either to go for maize or for tobacco, because our farmers would come in to be outgrowers. Since this plant is dealing with tobacco, our farmers will be given that chance to grow tobacco, meaning they also have where to sell.
Helen Witt reporting from Kawe, Central Zambia.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We'll now take a set of commercials. I will be back with some international stories as well as sports news. Keep watching.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We'll now continue with the rest of the news. In international news, global humanitarian organizations are feeling the ripple effects of aid cuts initiated during the Trump administration with the U.S. Agency for International Development USAID closure and reduced funding having a devastating impact, particularly on refugee operations in Kenya. At the KAKUMA refugee camp, one of Kenya's largest, the consequences of the funding shortfall are stark. The World Food Programme, WFP's warehouses, once stocked with essential supplies, now sit nearly empty, with inventory levels down to just 25%. A few remaining sacks of lentils from the United States are among the last resources available for the camp's population. The crisis deepened in February when the U.S., formerly WFP's largest donor, officially ceased its funding. Since then, no new shipments of food aid have arrived. Located in the arid northern region of Kenya, KAKUMA is home to over 300,000 refugees from conflict-affected countries including South Sudan, Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The funding gap has forced WFP to significantly reduce food rations. Here is a roundup of international news.
The Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya continues to be affected by the Trump's administration to cut U.S. aid. Empty warehouses at the World Food Programme's food storage facilities at the camp paint a green picture.
This is one of the areas where we keep cereals. It's completely empty.
You have no cereal?
We have no cereals.
These lentils from the U.S. are among the last resources available for the entire refugee camp. Regina Ngole, who escaped the conflict in South Sudan, displays food for her family of 7. Just a few leaves she gathered that day.
To the garden to collect.
She often becomes sick. There is no food, and for the moment we are starving because the ration we got is already finished. Her 2-year-old has been hospitalized multiple times due to severe malnutrition, which is why a community health worker has come to check on her. Her health has improved, but the question remains, for how long?
The highest numbers of mortalities that we've recorded was actually in the month of March, that we recorded 15 mortalities in this particular ward. And that's just a pointer to how unawares were caught with the surge in number of patients that we're seeing in this particular ward.
Situated in the extremely dry northern region of Kenya, Kakuma is home to over 300,000 refugees.
The elections were calm, but tense. Voters went to the polls in Togo on Thursday to elect their municipal representatives. But after protests against longtime President Faure Gnassingbé turned deadly in June, fear and political apathy lowered turnout in many polling stations. This time, the participation in the election is not good. Even in 2019, it was better than this year. In 2019, there was really enthusiasm for a good change. Gnassingbé has ruled over Togo since 2005 and recently reformed the constitution to stay in power without official term limits. Still, some voters were hopeful for change in the country. I want our little brothers and sisters to be able to go to school. We don't have enough resources. That's why we've had to learn small trades. Because of a lack of money, I dropped out of school to work. But the younger ones, they should get better chances. I need the means to take care of our children's health. I just hope for better living conditions, really. In the capital Lomé, a heavy police presence also intimidated many into staying at home.
A new deportation flight carrying 95 Haitian nationals landed Wednesday in Cap Haitien as U.S. immigration authorities continue a wave of removals under tightened immigration enforcement. One of the deportees, speaking in Haitian Creole, recounted his decision to turn himself into U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I entered the United States in September 2021. After some problems with the police, ICE sent me a message asking me to present myself. This was and some people told me to go to Canada, but I said no, I will surrender. After some time in jail, I asked them to send me back to my country. I'm not a thief in my country, and I did not want to stay in prison. I'm happy to be back in my country. As Haiti continues to grapple with political instability, violence, and economic hardship, the return of deportees adds another layer of pressure on the country struggling to integrate its nationals. For many, like the man who chose to repatriate over detention, returning home is not just a legal decision, but a deeply personal one.
Nigeria's Super Falcons have delivered a masterclass performance in the WAFCON, thrashing Zambia's Copper Queens 5-0 in a one-sided quarterfinal clash at the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON 2024. From the first whistle, Nigeria shot into it, pressing high and attacking with precision. It took only 2 minutes for the 9-time African champions to get on the scoreboard. Defender Osinach Ohele rose highest in the box to nod home a corner, giving Nigeria an early lead and setting the tone for the match. Zambia returned for the second half, hoping to restore some pride, but Nigeria remained relentless. In the 63rd minute, Olatwasini Demain powered in a header from Okoronko's pinpoint free kick, extending the scoreline to 4-0. The West Africans weren't done yet. In stoppage time, they camped off a ruthless display with a 5th goal, effectively sealing Zambia's fate and stamping their authority on the tournament. With the win, Nigeria advances to the semi-finals, keeping their title ambitions very much alive, while Zambia's dream run came to a crashing halt. That's it for our main news tonight. Here is a recap of the stories making headlines. Government denies signing maize export deal with DRC. There shall be no sacred cows in the fight against corruption, VEEP. ZDA urges SMEs to build strong investment cases to attract funding. In international news, Trump-era aid cuts Deepen crisis in Kenya's Kakuma refugee camp. And in sports news, Nigeria beats Zambia by 5 goals to 0. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Proverbs 9 verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Remember, you have been catching us live on Topstar channel 106 on KenStream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Camnet TV. Thank you so much for watching. Good night, and God bless you all.